right, and welcome back to Imperfectly Us.
Comfy, cozy, Imperfectly Us.
Yeah, so we attempted to record this latest episode, like an hour and a half ago, and plugged in everything into our computer, and it wouldn't work.
Yeah, so now we are sitting on the couch. I'm basically in your lap.
Yep.
The dog is on your right.
Yep.
Izzy's on the right of the dog.
Yep.
And we are a united family on this
Yes.
couch.
The dog one.
Yes, so we are literally all sitting together on the couch talking into a single microphone.
It's going to get hot.
It's gonna get hot. But we are making the best of the situation. We found a solution rather than just dwelling on the problem.
Yeah. This is going to be the issue when you're shoving the mic in my face and I'm not ready to talk.
I really wanted him to comment on that because he was very huffy and puffy around the kitchen not that long ago. Don't lean on the dog.
Hello. It's so funny.
You mean LOL?
Yes.
So Izzy's very excited for us to be back recording another episode. So obviously...
And I'm going to lose a baby tooth someday.
Well, you lost a baby tooth while we were in Texas, and
Yeah.
she's got another one wiggling around in her mouth right now, too.
And the white side is so much wiggly.
Yes. So, we obviously took a little bit of a break while we were...
You were in
while
Texas.
Izzy and I were in Texas, so we had to go on a hiatus. But we're back now. And you survived. You survived 9 days without us.
I played a lot of Madden.
I bet you did, but you did also clean the house.
I did a
And
project
you
a day.
Did some projects, so I did appreciate that with the organization and the cleaning. It was flying home was very stressful, and so it was really nice to come home to a clean house, which we proceeded to immediately dirty by bringing in all of our luggage and all of that.
It has
So.
never been the same since.
But we're doing our best. So we're getting ready to try to get back into the routine because I return back to school tomorrow. And so things are going to be different again around our household.
Well, school, like personal development days. Not like everybody's going back to school.
Right. But setting up the classroom and thinking about curriculum and planning lessons and battling insomnia, I'm sure, because my insomnia does much better over the summer than it does during the school year.
It already started.
Yes.
What-
Literally August 1st. Remember that? It was almost a month ago now at this point, but literally August 1st. I could not sleep. Got up, looked at the calendar, and I'm like, oh, well, no kidding. It's August 1st.
I'm more referring to like 3 days ago when it was like 2:30 in the morning and you were wide awake.
Yes, I did get up at 2:30 in the morning the other day.
You're like, do I just get up now? Seriously, that needs to stop. Stop putting the microphone in my face.
I want to make sure you have an opportunity to talk. In his huffy puffiness around the kitchen, he made multiple comments about the fact that I should just record it by myself since we have one microphone, since I do all the talking anyway. So I'm giving you a chance to make sure you're talking.
But that's just our life anyways. You do all the talking.
I do all the everything. Except for the cleaning and the cooking.
Yeah. All the women stuff. That's known for women.
Like laundry.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I don't do dad's.
sometimes Jason laundry. I like when it's his laundry, I call him Jason laundry. When it's Catherine's laundry, I call it Catherine laundry. Is it my laundry? I'll call it Izzy laundry.
Well, who does Izzy laundry, though?
Sometimes Daddy, and sometimes you, and sometimes me.
Wait,
One time.
One time you folded a couple of pieces of clothing and that counts?
With you a
Yes,
couple days ago.
I was trying to teach you how to fold clothes. So, yes. Daddy does wash the clothes sometimes.
We are not the traditional family.
No, we're not. You are...
We are alphabet family.
We're the awesome family?
No, the alphabet. Alphabet, like...
Opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite family?
Yeah.
Huh. We're the opposite family.
Progressive.
We're progressive.
Progressive family.
We're an opposite progressive family. I'm not really sure about that. We we split a lot of the things, right? I mean, you cook and I cook. You're a better cook. Like, you're a better natural cook. I can follow a recipe really well. You're much more likely to go into the kitchen and just whip some masterpiece together.
It's funny. So you're better at being told what to do.
By recipes. Not by my husband.
No, not at all.
No.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't listen when you tell me what to do.
I only make Izzy macaroni and cheese.
Yes, Izzy makes a very good macaroni and cheese. She also, the other day, we had 2-ingredient dough pizza for dinner. And we had a pre-made, like, crust for her, and she did make her pizza. So she will help out in the kitchen. But yes, Izzy is the master of macaroni and cheese. But yeah, you're much more the natural cook. We both clean. We both do yard work. I pay all the bills.
Yeah, I don't want to see the money. I don't want to see the money.
So I'm also the only one aware of the finances, too.
And I do the outside fun stuff.
And Izzy does the outside fun stuff and spends all of our money.
You do like to do the lawn.
Yeah, I actually enjoy cutting the lawn. I do not like weeding the garden, but I enjoy cutting the lawn. And then I cut the lawn, you weed whip. So we kind of
if we just got a goat, that would take care of all of it, right?
I'm not sure that we can just have a goat in our area.
The goat eat everything.
We can have a goat in our area.
Oh.
No, we
I've already looked
can't
into it.
because the goat will eat the inside our house.
So should that just be the title of this episode? The goat will take care of everything.
The goat will take care of it all.
The grown-ups and the kids and and no animals do their chores.
No animals do their... I know Casper definitely doesn't do any chores. He creates chores.
Yeah, he make us clean up his dog food.
Yes. But we clean up after you a lot, too.
Yeah.
So you are not... He is not the only one, small one, that gets cleaned up.
I know. Casper and me were brother. But Casper's the brother and I'm the sister.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, why don't you go play in your room? Because Mommy and Daddy we're gonna talk a little bit, okay?
Or go clean your room.
Hey, you could...
No.
But then
no.
you would be helping with the family chores.
No,
You can go clean your room, or we can go get the goat. And then I will clean your room.
No.
I'm surprised she doesn't want a goat.
Goats are cute, man. Especially the fainting ones. Just like a mortis.
No, the goat will eat books and everything.
Okay.
Not if it's all picked up.
Yes, you should go clean your room.
Don't stay down there.
So, what was the hardest thing with us being gone?
Routine. I guess we didn't really have a routine going into the summer. What was the hardest thing about you being gone?
Probably thinking.
It definitely wasn't being quiet.
No, I'm sure it was very quiet around here.
I love you, but I didn't really have I wish they were here for this.
Okay. So all that crap you gave me going into us leaving about how you wouldn't be able to sleep at night and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I got used to it very, very quick.
Okay. So no complaints next time because you made me feel very guilty about leaving.
Yeah. I turned on Netflix on the TV.
Yeah.
Rather than my phone.
Yeah. He had to watch TV when he went to bed. Like on the actual TV that's in the bedroom that I didn't even want in our bedroom. So
I am sweating balls already. And we're not even 10 minutes in.
It's
I
all right.
have to go get shorts on.
We are making it work. It's kind of like the motto of our life. The story of our life. We
Just
make
get by.
It work. Just get by.
Just
Make
get
it work. It's true. Well, Texas was very interesting. It was very hot. Holy smokes, was it hot?
Yeah, it was like 75 degrees here.
Yeah. It was like 105 there. Even when you woke up in the morning, it was already over 80.
You came home looking like it was March. You were that white.
Okay, because I wasn't out in the sun for a couple of days.
Yeah. Your tail ends are gone.
Yeah, just keep rubbing it in.
Actually, the hardest part of you being gone was me trying to deal with the pool.
Yes, and they're like for no benefit either.
Yeah, it was just trying to keep it up.
Because you weren't going to use it, and we weren't here to use it. Although you should have used it.
Yeah.
So.
It was too cold. It was 75.
I know he would brag all the time about the temperature here, and meanwhile, we were sweating in Texas. It was hot. Holy smokes, was it hot.
So, Courtney had the baby.
Courtney had the baby, yes. Ryan Jane. She is adorable. And it was very, very hard to leave. Very hard. But it was definitely an interesting... So we got down there early before my sister was induced. So we had some time, just a couple of days of just hanging with her and being able to spend time with her. And then... wasn't an easy delivery. Courtney was a trooper, though. She ended up having to have a C-section. And so then she was stuck in the hospital a little bit extra and had some issues with her blood pressure. And so I had to tackle one of my fears while we were down there. It was like multiple fears kind of rolled into one. So I don't like driving. Like...
Oh, yes, I'm your chauffeur.
Yeah, I don't like, we've joked before that if we ever win the lottery, like the first luxury splurge that Cathy would be spending the lottery winnings on is a driver, because I really, really dislike driving. And that's
Uber
even
now, right? You just Uber
yeah,
everywhere.
but I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable Ubering around in a place. Like, I've never used Uber before, and so to use it in a place where I don't know, where I'm not familiar. I have a small child with me. I don't know. There's just things that freak me out about that. But so I don't enjoy driving. I certainly and that's like at home. Like, I don't even enjoy driving when I'm driving around our town that I grew up in, have lived here for over 20 years in my own car. Like, I don't even enjoy driving like that. And while we were in Texas, obviously I'm not familiar with the location. It's my first time there. And I had to drive my sister's big-ass truck.
Well, was it Silverado lifted?
I don't know what it was, but I was very freaked out about driving it. And so I had to kind of tackle that fear, because once Court was in the hospital, and, you know, obviously my brother-in-law was in the hospital with her, like, in order for us to go to the hospital to see, you know, my brand new niece, his brand new cousin, and to see my sister, and Joshy, yep, I had to bite the bullet and drive the big ass truck. And I was petrified. The first time driving there, and I was, too, obviously driving in a place I had never been to, I seriously felt like I was on the verge of a panic attack and tears the whole time. And it was like the driving was freaky, but then also just like the trying to park and like back out, and like I'm getting anxiety. My stomach's starting to hurt right now just even thinking about it, even though I did it successfully.
Well, the good news is you were bigger than everybody else on the road.
No, because everybody drives trucks in Texas.
That's why everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, except for the parking garages and the parking spots and the lanes and stuff like that. Those are all still normal size. And I just was not comfortable with it. But I did it. I did it multiple times. And I would kind of go into it, like when we went, I found a parking lot that I was comfortable parking in. Most of the time, the days that we went there, we got there early enough that like I could pull through a spot. And so that helped, because that way I didn't have to, when we went to leave, I didn't have to try to back out in these congested parking lots. I was able to pull through. But my sister, initially we thought that she was going to be released, and then she ended up having to stay an extra day. And so that day that we thought she was going to be released, and then they ended up holding her, we wanted to go up and see her. And it was already later in the day. And it was like, even though at this point Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'd already successfully gone to the hospital and back twice. This third day, and luckily the night before I was so excited about being done driving and not having to drive again. But I was like, you know what? When the parking garage, we would time it early enough that we would get back into the parking garage at their apartment complex before a lot of people had gotten home from work, so that when I went to pull, to where they normally park in their garage, like I would have like several open spots on the left and the right so that I could pull into a spot, not worrying about anything on my left or anything on my right, and then just back up straight so that the next time I went to use the car, I could just pull out of the spot. And like, I know this probably all sounds so silly to you because like driving's totally second nature for you. It's not for me. Like,
oh, I've seen you drive. I get it.
Like, I get anxious sometimes in the passenger seat and have to close my eyes because I'm, like, too nervous about, there was construction, there was everything, like, but, that night that I thought we weren't going to be having to go back to the hospital, we got back and I was, you know what, I should probably just back it in just to be safe. Just in case I need to take the car anywhere. And thank goodness I did, because the next day I had to drive to the hospital again because they ended up holding her.
Is Izzy the one telling you?
Yeah, she told me, because I was going to park outside of the garage in just one of the, like, the parking lots because it'd be a little bit bigger in terms of if I had to back up. And she told me that I needed to put things back where I found them. So because I got parented by the 6-year-old. So I had to because I got the car out of the parking garage, I had to put it back in the parking garage where I found it.
Where we found it.
Yes. So, but it was funny. So that day that we ended up going back up there, it was later in the day, and I pulled into the lot that was closest to the hospital, the part of the hospital that we needed to go into in order to see Courtney and Ryan, and the women's hospital. Yes, and Joshy, thank you, Izzy. And
as a father, we're always second. It's always mother, daughter, then that one guy who got everybody pregnant. That's
yeah, we're not gonna explain that to her now. She goes, what?
Jason failed.
But she just said Jason failed. Yeah. But so we pulled into that lot because I'm like, I'll just go around, and if there's a spot I can pull through, that just to see. And sure enough, there wasn't. So we went back to our other lot. Well, that other lot was full, basically. And so I'm like, oh my God. Like, I had told Izzy, she's like, why are we not parking? Look, there's open spots. And it was like, well, I'm going to go to our lot that we normally park in just to make sure. If we can pull through. If we can't pull through, we'll come back here. And that way, if Joshy needs to come out and back up the truck so that we can get out, like, he can come out with us and help me get backed out so that we can go home. Well, so we're driving around where we normally parked, and I spot, like, there's, like, this little extra part of the parking lot off a little ways, and I see a pull-through spot. I'm like, oh my God. Praise God. Like, thank goodness. I go in there. I turn to get into the parking spot. I'm starting, like, I'm like halfway into my parking spot with the intent to pull through, right? So I'm not even positioned. I'm not positioned well to literally just stop in that one spot. Well, this little car comes out of nowhere and pulls in the spot facing me. And I'm like,
85-year-old grandma?
No, it was a guy.
No.
And I'm like, there was a lot. I don't even want to repeat it because I know then you normally, when I say words I'm not supposed to, you put the explicit
let's throw them out there. Let's see what
label.
we got.
But there were some choice words, and he must have saw the look of sheer panic or anger or something on my face, because that nice Texan, he backed his car right up and left that spot so I could continue pulling through.
You could tell he's definitely married because he knows that look.
I was like, oh my God.
Time to back it up.
Like, and it was one of those things that if he had just parked, like, I literally, like, slammed on the brakes and was like, what do I do? Like, I cannot back this thing up. What do I do? So it was a very stressful couple of days. Plus then obviously kind of lonely in the sense that, like, we were at the condo or the apartment, and they were at the hospital, and a hospital's not really a conducive place to be there for hours on end with Izzy. Plus then we were also taking care of the dogs and stuff like that. So So I thought that was going to be like my big moment of like, I mean, flying down there, I was nervous. I don't mind flying. Like, I don't love flying. I'm a nervous flyer. I'm just a nervous Nelly. Like, everything makes me nervous. I get anxiety about a lot of stuff. And I overthink a lot. I don't think you guys appreciate
I think that's why we get along.
How much I overthink everything in our life. But, so, the last time we flew was a couple years ago when we flew with your family to go to Florida.
Yep.
And your stepmom's travels and enjoys traveling as an avid traveler, would travel even more if she could. And so, like, she just kind of takes the lead. Like, the last 2 times I've traveled, I've actually traveled with her. And so she tells me where I need to go and what I need to have out and stuff like that. And so, but this time, like, it was just Izzy and I. Like, I had to be the adult in the situation. And so, you know, we got through.
The truck.
Unless I'm parking the truck. In which case, I need to be reminded to return things where I got them from. But, so I thought here, I was so proud of myself. I got through the anxiety of flying down there and, like, managed that. And we got to the airport early. And so we, you know, walked. We were, of course, like, one of the very end terminals. And so I was nervous when we got there, and it was like, oh, you could take the express tram to that terminal, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if we're supposed to do that. So we ended up walking the whole thing, which is fine. We had plenty of time, and it was good to kind of get her. She did not stop talking that morning. We got her up at 4:30 in the morning, and she did not stop talking. No, it was before 4:30 because we had to leave.
It was like 4:10.
Yeah, because we had to leave by like 4:15.
Yeah, when the day goes on, it gets even expensive.
Yes, because as the day goes on, the flights get even more expensive. So we took the early morning flight. She listens to a lot of stuff.
Guess I'm watching your mouth.
Yeah, I do have to start watching my mouth. But so so, you know, we got there, the flight, everything was great. It was really cool. We had a female pilot, so Izzy was able to see that. And we get down there. I conquer my fear of. No, I didn't conquer my fear because I'm still afraid of it, but I survived my fear of driving in an unknown area as well as a place that...
Somebody didn't turn off the phone.
I know, I didn't turn my phone off. I just realized that. It's a good thing I'm not very popular, and therefore it hasn't gone off much. And I survived driving the truck, and then we go to fly home.
And our flight is so... We have a delay.
Yes. So we get on the plane.
That's very well said.
Yes, it was. Thank you. We get on the plane. And, you know, I was already exhausted. I didn't sleep very well the night before. I don't ever sleep very well the night before I travel. And I got up with my sister and Ryan in the middle of the night and, like, held the baby until she fell back asleep, and then so that my sister could get comfortable and stuff like that. And kept my sister company while she was feeding, and so then and then I was emotional from saying goodbye to, you know, my sister and to my beautiful little niece. And then we get to the airport, everything's fine, right? We're ready, we get on the plane, everything's fine. Although it was my first time flying in this airport, and it was busy, and they like to move things through quickly at that airport. But we survived that, and we got to the gate, we got on the plane. Everything's good, and we don't move. And one of the pilots gets on the system, the PA system, and is like, "Well, folks, you may have noticed we're not moving yet. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about aviation something than you've ever wanted to know." And basically goes on to explain that there's some sensor issue with something with the engine, and he's supposed to be getting some sort of alert, and he's not getting the alert, so so now they're running tests and blah blah blah, like way more than I need to know.
And you're the first flight. This should have been done the night before. And
I'm sitting there. Isabella's already, thank goodness for those little monitors on the back of the TVs. And so Izzy's already watching something, and I'm sitting there, and I am so tired. And because I had been crying when we said goodbye to my sister and to Ryan before Josh took us to the airport, like, tears are very near the surface. I'm stressed out. I'm exhausted. I'm excited about coming home and excited coming back to my routine, but it was very difficult to leave my sister and the baby.
You weren't excited to come back to me? Just
Yeah.
your routine?
To come home and my routine. You're part of home.
Or the routine.
You're part of home. Stop giving me a hard time or I'm going to say I was not excited to see you. And I'm like trying to hold it together because I don't want to upset her, you know. And we literally just are sitting there. And they're like, come on. And they're like, well, that didn't work, folks. We're going to try something else. Blah, blah. And so we ended up sitting there. And in the meantime, I'm like texting you and I'm like, we're delayed. We have not taken off yet. And so we just sat there.
Which your anxiety was high?
Yes.
My anxiety was probably even higher for not being on that flight. I couldn't do anything knowing that you were all stressed out. But, like, flying freaks me out.
Right.
So I'm having this, and I'm trying to be calm, and I'm like,
well, and so that was the thing too. Like, I wasn't telling you everything.
But you told me censor. What did you think I was going to do? Not Google it?
So I kept it very like, oh, there's some little censor issue. When I was talking, like, I did not tell you everything because I knew about your anxiety, and I'm like, I'm already freaking out. I'm trying not to freak her out. I don't need to freak him out, and so, but of course, you Googled it.
I was already like,
I know.
There could have been nothing wrong with that plane.
And you were going to be anxious about it anyway. Yeah, I totally get that. But I was trying to protect you, even though I myself was freaking out.
And the person got on and they say, this plane, the engine don't work. We're going to another plane.
Yeah. So then they get on and they're like, I mean, so time, like, hours have passed. Like, we've been sitting there for hours. And they're like, there's one more thing that we can do. And so the mechanics are going to give this a try. And if it doesn't work, we're going to have to reassess the situation. Basically, like, we're going to have to get off and get on a new plane. And you're, like,
we're
sitting there.
We're not going to tell you because that's going to cause a riot.
As an anxious flyer. And I'm like, I really do not want to get off this plane. But I don't know if I want to fly in this plane. And our flight was almost completely booked. And, you know, people are starting to get off now because Detroit was a connection for them. And so they're trying to make arrangements with other flights and stuff like that. Well, so finally, and this is what, like, 2 hours, like, we would have already almost been home.
Well, you would have been home. And
they finally get on and they say, good news, folks. It worked. The mechanic just has to put everything back together. And then we need to add some more fuel because we've been burning fuel as we've been sitting here trying to keep you guys cool and everything working. And some thunderstorms have popped up in the Midwest, and we want to make sure we have adequate fuel to fly around them. And I'm like, oh my God, mother trucker, just get me home. So now,
stop telling me things.
Like, yeah, don't tell me about these thunderstorms that we're gonna have to fly around. So then they get on a little while later, and they're like, all right, folks, good news. The mechanic has everything back together. They've signed off on our paperwork. We've been refueled. We're going to be going any second. Like, we're waiting for our turn to back up and go. And then, like, 5 minutes pass and they get on again. And they're like, folks, you may have noticed out the window that the ground crew is moving luggage around because, you know, when the plane was loaded, it was loaded for as many passengers as, you know, was planned to be on this flight. And now that we have a different amount of passengers, because seriously at this point maybe a third of the plane is full. Like, we lost 2/3 of the plane getting off to get onto different flights. And so they had to rebalance the luggage in the sandbag so that the plane could fly. And once again, the man is telling me all of these things over the PA system, and I am doing my best not to hyperventilate because I have a 6-year-old sitting next to me, and I don't want to worry her.
And when we left Darcy, I'm like, I tried to hold it together, but I can't.
So all those,
yeah, you did cry a little bit too when we left, yes.
So all those people that left, they probably did not get their luggage.
No, they told them that their luggage was flying to Detroit with us and would eventually connect with wherever they went.
Hours down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, thank goodness we were flying to our stop. But, so we finally get up in the air. We have some turbulent moments. It's fine. We land, and there was some sort of delay once we landed for them to take a second to taxi to the gate. I can't even remember what it was now, because at this point I felt like I was...
Well, you were just...
I was in like a comedy skit.
You weren't there at your scheduled time, so they had to take care of the ones that were.
Yeah.
That's what your delay
and
was.
So then we get off the plane, and I realize... We go to the bathroom and everything, and I realize, sure enough, where we need to go for our luggage is at the other end of this. So we really do kind of need to take this express tram, right?
We did.
So we get on the express tram, and at this point, like, I have a migraine. My head is pounding. I just want to, like, eat a bunch of bad food for me and, like, have a good cry and then take a nap and maybe, like, a bottle of wine. And we get on this express tram, and Izzy is, like, she was such a trooper through the whole thing, right? Totally unfazed. Was watching, playing games on the little monitor on the back of the seat. We get on the express tram, and she's like, it's my birthday. And she's just got this big old smile, and I almost, like, started crying right then and there, because just talk about, like, such a lesson in life. Like, here I am, internalizing all of this anxiety, some of it's coming external, freaking out, and... Iz totally had, like, the time of her life. We ate a bag of gummy bears for breakfast, and she got to play games and watch cartoons and movies and stuff like that on her little monitor. And
the last movie I saw, Lego 2.
Yeah.
I watched it when we were going to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were coming back.
Yeah, she watched a little bit on the flight there and a little bit on the flight home. But so she had the time of her life.
We are going back home.
Yes, you watched.
I watched a whole thing.
Well, yeah, I could have watched.
Hey, is your room clean yet?
It was rather humorous because Avengers Endgame was one of the, in-flight movie options. And it was like, our flight wasn't long enough to watch it. But guess what was long enough?
The delay
All
and
the
the flight.
delays. Yeah, I could have watched that and another short movie. But yeah, so it was, I definitely felt like, and by the time I got home, I, like, kind of, like, shut down and didn't really talk to anybody for the rest of the day, but I definitely felt like the trip was a test in my anxiety. But I survived it. And I suppose it's good lessons going into a new school year and new adjustments and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I know you were red. That's my stomach. It's rumbling. I
thought
know
you were tooting.
No, that'd be really embarrassing on well mic'd up.
Oh, I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been doing it. Well, they've luckily been quiet enough and not.
It's all about how you sit.
Well, yeah, but the couch has not been vibrating, so that's at least good.
I'm on a different cushion than you.
Oh,
Yeah.
You planned that out, huh?
And then Mommy on my cushion. She's on half of my cushion, and I'm, like, scooting on top of, like,
Yep.
on the top of it, but my butt keeps lying down.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so happy you shared that with all of our listeners. So anyway, the school year's getting ready to start. We survived our trip. And we did a 5K.
Yesterday.
And I have soccer game.
And Izzy had a soccer game, and she scored a goal, and we survived our 5K.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a good Saturday for the Strocks.
Yeah.
Not
Not a good Sunday.
No, we are very sore today. Holy smokes, are we sore? So
I haven't ran in 2 months.
since our last 5K.
Yes.
Even though when I asked you while we were gone in Texas if you had run, you told me you ran a couple of times.
Yeah, like a mile and a half.
Okay.
Mile with Casper.
And then we
So
go
it's
to
not like a big
and
pace.
then we go to this 5K yesterday, and he's like, "Man, I haven't run since the last race we did." I'm like, "Wait a second, you told me you ran while I was gone."
I don't consider, like, a mile run. Like, that's not a run to me. Okay. Like, when I usually go out, it's...
Well, aren't you fancy?
When I usually go out, it's at least 2.5.
Yeah. Normally, I'm lucky if I make 2.5.
So when I had the dog, I'm like, I'll just do the mile and get home as quickly as possible.
Although, when we took Casper for like a 2-mile run, and he did great.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah.
So he could have done it. You decided to keep it short.
I wanted to get home and enjoy my peace and quiet for 9 days.
You did do really good with the food, though, while we were gone.
Food wasn't going to be the problem.
Yeah, it was the sitting around playing video games.
Because I can do the same meal.
Yeah, so what did you eat while we were gone?
Chicken, sweet potato, and salad were my main staples.
Okay.
And then I had Thai. And then I had party store pizza, just a slice.
Yeah.
But those were like the only... Didn't go out once.
I actually did, even though we were in Texas, tried out some different restaurants and stuff like that. I made sure to be really active every day with the dogs. And I actually came back having lost like a pound or two. And then I proceeded to like binge eat my anxiety away.
Yeah.
That weekend when we returned and ended up...
I made that seafood pasta.
Oh, yeah, you did. You made that.
That's awesome.
I made a couple of healthy meals to like leave for my sister so that like I meal prepped them some foods, and I did like the Southwest goulash and stuff like that. So that was nice because I was able to leave her with some healthier stuff. But did okay on the food thing. Made sure to still do my physical activity every day, and even did like there's a video I do on YouTube for my arms. Did that a couple of times and stuff like that. So we did decently.
I used the opportunity to get back in my fasting routine.
Okay.
So I didn't have to worry about you guys eating or you eating something like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, so I was down to one meal every day. Mm-hmm. I had like a 2-hour eating window.
Right.
So I've actually continued that. Well, not all of that, but
right.
I'm at least down to 18 hours on my fast.
Okay. Not necessarily on the weekends, but...
No.
Weekends are hard.
But I always took that off because we go out for breakfast.
Yeah, Sunday mornings, that's kind of our ritual. I look forward to it. So, and sometimes, now with Soccer Saturday starting, sometimes you really just need a coffee with Soccer Saturday.
Which now I actually can do black coffee.
Yeah, it's so weird that you went from not even liking coffee.
Within a year. To
now, like, I have to, like, tell you to slow down because I'm worried you're going to have a heart attack if you drink so much black coffee.
Yeah.
And I only do one chore. Getting new toilet paper. I put it in the...
I am unsure how that has to do with what we're talking about right now.
I did the chore.
You just did a chore?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'm so happy.
I changed the toilet paper.
Well,
Careful.
good. Did you use the last of it?
Mom will ground you if you use the wrong, like you have the wrong end
Did
up.
you put it over? Because toilet paper needs to go over, not under. That's okay. I'll teach you how to correctly do it if you did it wrong.
How do you like your paper towel?
Huh?
How do you like your paper towel? Under
over.
Or over? Over? You like your paper towel over?
I guess I never really paid attention to it.
They're the same thing.
Towel. Toilet paper has to be over.
Why not paper towel?
Toilet paper has to be over.
Why not?
It
What's the
doesn't bother
difference?
me as much. I don't know. Toilet paper has to be over, though.
That's crazy that if you want one and you don't care about the other.
I guess I probably subconsciously put it over. I don't know.
You put it on last, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's over. You're going to go check?
I'm going to go check.
Okay, well, while you're walking over there, I also want you to be thinking about what are your kind of goals with this new school year. No, do not sit in Daddy's seat. Do not sit in Daddy's seat. Isabella? You're keeping it warm. It's already very warm in here because we're sitting so close to each other. So I was saying, what is it? Is it over or under? It's over, yeah. I think because subconsciously I do that. So my question to you, new school year is starting. What are some of the goals that you have for this new school year? For this new year. Obviously, it's not a new school year for you.
It is for me.
Well, yeah, you are doing college classes.
Yeah.
So.
My last year, hopefully.
Yeah. It's going to be finishing up your associates. Woo woo. Yeah. I'm really proud of you for that.
As a high school dropout.
Yeah, well, you got your GED.
Yeah.
And now, yes, you're getting your college degree. So what are your goals for this, really, I guess I'm going to say September, although we're going to be kind of kicking things off this next week.
Can I just say that I want to get back to where I was in May?
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of, back on track physical activity-wise, running, going to the gym.
Yeah.
And then fasting and
Yeah. So
watching
get down
what you eat.
get down weight wise to where I was in May.
Okay, I don't remember where you were weight wise in May. But
I think I was below 200.
okay. My goal is to continue my routine to not let the start of the school year be an excuse to not do physical activity, because there is no teacher tired is
Did you say teats?
No, teacher tired.
Oh,
teacher tired is a serious thing, but I want to try to make sure if I work out, I actually do sleep better. And so I need to continue that because that maybe that'll help me with my insomnia. I mean, I know I've even tried the melatonin and that didn't help.
Melatonin gives you some screwed up dreams.
It just didn't help my insomnia. I still had insomnia.
Well, that's one thing that during the school year last year we went to bed at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we'll be going back to bed early because it helps us to not eat. Yeah. I want to get back on track in terms of my tracking, even if we eating within my points.
Even if we just sit in bed at 8 o'clock.
Right, and play on the phone or start watching Netflix.
We're not 10 feet away from the
right, especially
fridge.
Since I don't allow food in the bedroom. Which somebody doesn't follow that rule all the time.
If you don't see it, it's not illegal.
JJ, it is illegal in this house.
That's right, it's illegal in this house. Izzy, do you have any goals for this next year?
Try to score more goals in soccer.
Oh, that's a good one. You're already off on a good start. You got a goal on Saturday.
Usually takes you a couple games to get warmed up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Anything else that you want to? Anything school-wise or?
Tie your shoes.
No, how to ride my bike. And
Without training wheels?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good goal. Yep, and then the other thing that we're going to be starting, Izzy we had started kind of some journaling. We had gotten this idea from a friend of ours to do some journaling this summer, and then actually we were at your great aunt's funeral, like a week ago, right when we got back into town, and her kids read some excerpts from her journal, and it was really remarkable to the fact that she had that they had this bit of her now still with them, and to be able to hear some of her words and stuff like that. And so we've decided that we're going to do family journal time. So
you want to know my thoughts when I die?
Yes, I do. I mean, I would prefer to know your thoughts while you're alive, but I'll just read your journal. You'll notice I didn't buy you one with a lock.
I did.
So I bought all of us journals off of Amazon, so that we could enact this family journaling time. So that'll be interesting. And we're just gonna take 5 minutes. I mean, obviously, if you want to write more, you can. But our goal is going to be to sit down every night as a family or before we go to bed, and write for 5 minutes about our day or whatever is on our mind. So goals, whatever. So fingers crossed that this works.
In dreams.
Izzy's got in dreams, and Izzy's got a pretty sweet unicorn sequence journal diary. It's really a diary. It has a lock and everything.
Yeah, you took the lock right off of that.
Took the lock off because I was worried she's going to lose the keys. There's no reason for her to have to keep it locked.
No.
Yes, because people...
Future Izzy maybe, but not now.
People always try to look at my journals.
People always try to look at your journals? What experience do you have to base that statement off of?
How many journals have you written?
How many journals have you written?
Just one before.
Oh. She is quite the little writer and storyteller. So this will be very interesting. It's been. I loved the idea when Danny started doing it at the beginning of the summer with her son, and then Izzy was doing really good about writing every day about what she had done during the day, and it was cute. It was cute to read that stuff. So this will be a nice little habit, and you know what? There's something very therapeutic about journaling.
She called us out on a couple of them when she was writing. She's like, "And Mommy and Daddy didn't let me do this."
Yeah, but that's okay. She's allowed to have those opinions. So anyway, we're probably gonna have to go back to every other week in terms of episodes. We'll see how things kind of go with getting back into the routine.
You left them hanging for 3 weeks.
I know. I'm so sorry. We'll
2
see.
episodes
Maybe
in
we
5
can
weeks?
try. Maybe we can try to do one next week.
And my
Especially because I know how much you're loving sitting cuddly cozy to me right now on the couch.
should we do this some more?
I wish you could all see the look on his face.
Well, at least next weekend is Labor Day. So
That's true.
We
Yes,
can do
we do have some time
Sunday,
off.
Monday.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we
So,
could do so many podcasts.
but-
so many.
Yes,
yes,
well.
and
I-
apparently
Yes.
Izzy
and
has.
my goal-
Yes, we get.
And my another goal is making a lot of books.
Making a lot of books. You do like to write books.
And I have some hard books in my.
Yes, she writes a book about the
created a
about
series
yes,
of a character named Heart.
yes, which
that
is
goes on all
you'll be
these
shocked to
adventures.
know that Heart is Heart a boy or a girl, non-gender specific.
I don't know, because
But
I didn't.
It's very millennial.
I
of you.
just come up with it. I don't know anything.
okay, so Heart
Oh yeah, I know. It's
is
a girl.
okay. Heart's a girl apparently,
Boy.
or a boy. You know what? Whatever you
Changes.
decide. Whatever you decide, you want Heart to be. Whatever
It's like a
whatever
chameleon.
speaks to your heart, Heart can represent apparently. But Heart, you'll be shocked to know, is shaped like a heart. It's a heart walking around
Like
on
the
little
organ?
legs. No,
Or like
like the
Valentine's
shape,
Day?
like the Valentine's Day
Okay.
shape. It'd be really funny if it was like the organ.
Heart is a boy.
Oh, Heart's a boy now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, peas on his ventricle.
Because
things change. So,
because I know.
And he runs into character. He runs into other characters. Like what's another character? In your
what's
book?
another character in the book? Cloud? Wasn't there Cloud?
No.
There was one that was shaped like a cloud. Maybe
There was a
his name
cloud.
wasn't Cloud, but
No.
I was keeping with the theme.
I make a cloud person named Cloud Guy.
Oh, like on Trolls. So it's very funny because I can tell.
And I make
Oh my gosh.
one of my characters, my other characters, like in my first book, is Cupcake.
Cupcake.
Yes,
Ah,
there's a-
Cupcake. I remember Cupcake.
Yeah.
The cupcake you think is a cloud. That was
That's
when
okay. I'm easily confused apparently.
They're both light and fluffy.
They're both light and fluffy. It's it's funny because we're sitting here and I can tell because I'm irritated by it and I can tell that you're irritated by it, that we're both like, oh my god, stop hijacking
Yeah.
the podcast. But there was a time when like she didn't talk. And there was
Seems like so long
I
ago.
know, but in moments like that, and maybe this will be a conversation for another time, but Izzy had a very, and still does, she's still in therapy services, but had a very significant speech delay growing up. And sees a speech therapist twice a week to work
macaroni.
through those.
Is that another character?
And
No.
so right now, I just want to be like, please let us finish this podcast without interrupting. And then at the same time, it's like, oh my god, listen to how much she's talking and this is so fabulous and everything, because there was a really long time where she wouldn't talk.
Except she's trying to yell over us.
I know.
And I have no idea what that sounds like.
Yeah, especially because we're sitting here holding a mic between the two of us trying to make this work. But I feel like this is probably a good point to wrap up. I know we didn't do a healthy hack, or did you know this week, but
Because they don't have
to be honest with you, I've totally forgot about the healthy hack until we were sitting down to record. And, actually, I have one. I have a healthy hack,
Of course you do.
but it's over 21. I'm going to save it for next time. So, we'll save it for next time.
You have over 21 of them?
No, it's a healthy hack that only individuals over the age of 21 can indulge in.
So yes, but let's put this on your first week and back to school.
Well, you know what? Sometimes having
Get back to school.
a 21-year-old drink
Like a
helps you
scotch?
sleep.
That's a good scotch.
Okay, so with that, we are going to wrap up this episode of Imperfectly Us, and we hope to be back with you next week. We're going to do our best, but we've missed you, and so thanks for dealing with us. Hopefully the audio is not horrible on this episode, but we really missed you, and we wanted to do it anyway. So hope it turned out okay, and thank you for listening.
Please, what was I going to say?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, and
By giving us 5 stars, you move us up the rankings.
me?
So on Apple Podcast, go ahead and do that for us.
That would be awesome.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Why? What?
And I'm Cathy.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Izzy.
Thanks for listening.